We have three brains. We have the prefrontal cortex, which is here. It's our most recent brain. It developed later, and it is logical and objective and rational, and it is a part of the brain that has made us, has worked well with us. It's moved us forward. However, it's worth a miserable 8 to 15% of what we've got. I'm both fortunately and unfortunately, we have another brain here called the limbic system. It's the emotional part of the brain. It is stronger but more subconscious. We are not sure what's going on there all the time, and it is meant to react quickly to a situation, especially threat. And then we have the back part of the brain, which is the reptilian part, which is totally unconscious. So all of you are breathing and you are making your heart beat, but you're not doing it voluntarily. It's happening automatically. And those two parts of the brain react much quicker than the objective part. Therefore, if you make a move that those two brains think might be aggressive, then I could attack before my logical brain says, wait a minute, that really wasn't an aggressive action, but it's already done. And that's happened throughout history. These brains do not play well together. Um, they tend to fight each other often. And my belief is that we are still in a process of humanity that is developing, and that there are some people who are much more logical and rational, and some people are a lot more emotional and irrational. And in general, the people who are more irrational will react quicker and tend to see things more as a threat and misperceive uh, things as threats when they're not. And so it's incredibly important to slow the action down and to develop the prefrontal cortex more. And that can be done with, although I hate the term mindfulness, which is just thinking objectively, yoga, uh, any of the martial arts will help you. Meditation will all help you slow the action down and think in a more objective way, and that leads to less intolerance. There are two other elements that I look at. We have mirror cells with humans, and so if I yawn, that could be picked up by your mirror cell, and you could yawn back. It's one of the things that makes us communal. There are some people with a lot of mirror cells, and there are some people with very few. And again, the ones who are very few will not bond as well with humans and see us as all together, and that could lead to intolerance as well. There is another chemical called oxytocin, and oxytocin is a bonding agent. It's involved in love and attraction and friendship and cooperation. And people vary in the amount of oxytocin that they produce, and it will make them less or more aggressive because of that. And that will lead to intolerance or tolerant behavior. I think also the endorphin system is involved. The endorphins are pleasure morphine like substances in the body. If and we could look at chemistry as a whole. if any of the brains have a problem, or if any of the chemistry is off, a person will act much more antisocial. Therefore, they'll be more intolerant. So, most of the violent acts that are not communal in nature, if you look at those people's brains, what they've found is that the prefrontal cortex is down and the rest of the brain is overactive, and that will lead to angry and um, uh, aggressive behavior. So it also, as a whole, the types of primates that we are in general a little bit less aggressive than the chimpanzee, but a lot more aggressive than the bonobos. And probably most of you have not heard of the bonobos, but they're wonderful primates that seem to act similar to dolphins. They are very cooperative. They don't tend to fight a lot, and they are content to eat and procreate and have fun that way. And we would do well to follow their lead.